everyone. Welcome to episode 38 of the CFCTALK podcast. It's me, Alex. I'll be your host for tonight. You may notice that there's a Mohammed-shaped hole on your screen that's missing. I'm well informed that he'll be back in I think next week for our Fulham review. But until then, I'm joined by my reliable co-host as ever, Amart. It's a real pleasure to have you on as usual.
Yeah, same.
I think we know each other.
Yeah,
So we've been doing this for
I,
so
wa- I,
long.
was,
It's like,
I wasn't expecting you to. I wasn't expecting to have a reply to that. That's why.
so it's all good. We'll keep that one in. But yeah, it's like once we've been doing this for so long, it feels weird to introduce you now when we've been doing so many of these. But but yeah, look, we're here today to kind of talk. We're going to gloss over our Morecambe result and looking forward to our closest derby. I think there's Fulham is only down. Well, I mean, hell, Stamford Bridge is on Fulham Road, so it doesn't really get much of a closer derby, at least, than for Fulham. But before we get into that, a 4-0 win, good result. I mean, we all wanted to get through the next round. The FA Cup's a big competition for us, but the type of performance do you think for you did that kind of reinstall at least some confidence in this team after a bit of a lot of a dry run over the past 5-6 games?
Yeah, I mean, the performance was good. It was very, very good. But we really can't judge the performance. Like with all due respect to Morikambi. Is it Morikambi or Moricamb?
It's Morecambe,
Moric.
isn't it? I
Okay,
think
Moric.
Morecambe.
So Morecambe, we know they are not really a tough opposition. So we can play our best football against them. But I'm not going to really judge us based on that. But like what I saw was good. Like the link up play between Havertz and Ziyech and Werner was very, very good, and um, Ziyech got, I think, two assists. No, yeah, one assist, and then Havertz got a goal with an assist, and then Werner also got a goal. So it builds their confidence because they've not really been involved in goals as of late. I think it's only Havertz that had an assist against City, right? So we needed Werner to break his goal drought. This is the longest goal drought he has ever been on. So we needed him to score a goal at least. So I think it builds their confidence.
Yeah, in terms of Morecambe, I mean, I think Newcastle played Morecambe earlier in the season and beat them 7-0. But it's I think this Morecambe team, they were in actually decent form coming into this game. I think they had a change of manager, and they won four on this, or that was a while ago. I think they changed their manager, but they they've won their last four games. And today, when they came into the game, like from minute one, it was they were sat back. It was gonna be hard to break them down.
Yeah.
But but yeah, at the end of the day, I do think I'm glad that we had Ziyech in for this game for sure. We definitely needed his creativity and to get over the top to see Hudson-Odoi get deservedly the goal and assist, and the goal from to get a goal from one of the Ziyech's passes was pretty satisfying.
Yeah, and I think this was the first time too that we've seen Ziyech and Havertz and Werner link up for a goal.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like the all three of them. It was the Ziyech cross, the Havertz setup,
Yeah.
and Werner to get the goal. Yeah, that was nice to see. That was a nice what 200 million, 150 million pound goal right there.
You want to see more of that in the league.
Yeah, we do against tougher opposition, and there's no better way to start than against Fulham. But we'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, looking at the goals though, I mean the first one it was I really want to see Mount try and shoot a lot more from outside the box. I know he does try sometimes when he does have the space, but I want to see him doing it a lot more because it seems like other than when we don't have Ziyech in the team, our only strategy is to cross. So and Mount is the only one. Do you think who can really pull off these long shots?
I think Ziyech can also do that. I think he scored a lot of
Yeah.
long range shots from when he was in Ajax. So I think Ziyech is the second person. Kovacic tries. He tries a lot, but usually I see him as Kante. Kante also trying
Mm.
shots. When Kante tries a shot, you know it's a 50-50 chance because he's not really that kind of player.
I think there's an unwritten rule that Kovacic he's not allowed to score unless it's a volley or he takes the ball down to then kind of pass it into the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
That's I think he's scored that same type of goal about three times over the past couple of seasons.
And
But yeah,
Emerson also tried a lot
uh,
of long range shots.
yeah,
Yeah,
that is a point. That-
I think
That's,
he tried like three times, but they were either blocked or saved. And I think he's also a good candidate for trying long range shots.
to be fair, also Chilwell, I think, when he's in the team. But yeah, Emerson, it was weird at the start of the game. He did find it looked like he was just receiving the ball in these central positions just outside of their penalty box. So why not? It was good. Yeah, it was good to see
Yeah,
him.
he really wanted to make a difference. He wanted to put a stamp on his on the club. But I mean, I don't know. After yesterday's performance, I think he will be like he'll stay longer at the club than Alonso. Alonso, I think he might go very soon. But and it's weird. Before the season started, we thought Emerson was the one that might leave, and then Alonso would stay. But now things have changed, and Alonso might leave, and Emerson might be Chilwell's backup.
Yeah, I think ever since the West Brom game, I mean, I'm not even sure Marcos Alonso can. I mean, in order to count as a Chelsea player, you have to play at least what even a minute. Nah, he's not played as a single minute. I don't think after the West Brom game. I don't think so. Yeah, is I think his Chelsea career is dead pretty much. The way that I think the rumors that he went onto the team bus after he got subbed off and just watched Netflix. I think that might be there. That is a rumor, but I think it's pretty well reported that he did go onto the team bus after
Yeah,
instead of at halftime. And yeah, I think it's just yeah, it's sad to see.
he just zoned out of the game. But I see the annoying thing was that he was the reason why we were down in the first place. See, he was one of the reasons why we were down. He wasn't really good in the whole game, and instead of you sitting back and backing the team, you just went off to the bus and you weren't even watching the game. Like you're just doing something else. So I think
Yeah,
it's good. It's good. At first, I was like, maybe it's a bit unfair not to put him in the game or not to give him game time. But when you think about it, it doesn't really speak well of the mentality we have at Chelsea. Like you need players that love the club to be playing for the club. But if he doesn't care about what is going on, what's the reason for even playing him?
exactly. Um, it does feel a part of me is a little disappointed because we all know how good he can be at left wing back, but it's just in a normal back four, he just it just really doesn't work out for him, and we haven't really used a back three at all this season, so it's a little. I feel for him, but yeah, same time there's a required professionalism from Chelsea, and yeah, I hope at least when he leaves, we should be able to get a decent fee because of his reputation as a one of the arguably one of the best left wing backs in the world. So
Yeah,
well,
I think at some point in his career he was our highest scorer at some point in his
yeah,
career. So, yeah, so definitely he I think based on that, Marina can get something substantial for him. But like back to the Mount thing, I think the reason why Mount doesn't really get chances to shoot outside is because I think now like that's our problem. We can't really attack or build up play from the middle. We usually use the wings, and then when we come to the middle becomes very tight. So probably yeah they can try more, and you see that even Ziyech when he was in Ajax he was trying a lot. He cuts in and then he takes a shot. He can't really do that when he's at Chelsea because they know what he's capable of, and I think The defenders have already have also known what or seen what Mount is capable of, so they know when he's about to take a shot or not. So I think probably that is it. But he needs to find spaces to take those shots because he's very good. When he takes them, it's usually on target. So he needs to find those spaces and take more shots like Lampard did.
When a lot of teams are sitting back, it is quite hard to find space to. Well, actually, no. When they're sitting back, I guess there is that. It's easier to do to get takes, but you just have to take them from quite far out. But sorry, looking from the other goals, at least, I mean, Timo finally getting his, I think, what, 13, 14 games now.
Yeah, I
I've
think since early November or so.
November.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I, it was a relief. I'll say at least I was relieved, but it was still. I mean, it was a tap in, but you say it could be said that yeah, you need strikers to score those, and sometimes it can be better for them to get that tap in to kind of rekindle their confidence. And do you think are we still? Do you think are you convinced that Timo's out of this kind of rut, or do we need to see him score against Fulham and then kind of take that form into the next couple of games before we can kind of
I mean, I'm
consider
hoping
him to be out of this
I'm
rut?
hoping I'm hoping he is because I think when he was in Leipzig last season, he had a little bit of a goal drought. I think it was a 6 game goal drought or so, and he ended it with a penalty, and then after that he got a hat trick in the next game. So I think it's possible, but I don't know. I don't even the game. To be honest, in the game he wasn't really that impressive. Like throughout the game, you could see he was still struggling in certain areas. He couldn't beat the defenders and all that. But he was really linking up very very well with Havertz. I think when Havertz is on form, it makes Timo better. I think that's one thing that we have to um, um, realize as well. But I think without Havertz in the squad, it was affecting him a bit. And Havertz is the one that is supposed to be feeding him balls. He's the one supposed to be linking up play with him very very well. They were doing it, but I think apart from the goal, Timo really wasn't that. I don't think he's there yet or he's back to his form yet. But the goal is scoring a goal is always a confidence booster, no matter what the goal is, whether it's a good tap in or an accidental goal or whatever it is. It's always a confidence booster. So I'm hoping it boosts his confidence. And what better team than Fulham to actually start scoring goals again? So I'm just hoping he
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I mean, in all fairness to him, when the team like Morecambe come and sit back for so much of the game, there's not going to be much space for him to kind of get in behind and do what Timo Werner is known for. But yeah, it was interesting that I don't know. Do you think we did go for a 4-3-3 today, or it definitely looked like Havertz was kind of a bit more tied to the striker? He was perhaps in his number 10 position. I don't know if he had been instructed to stick around the striker a bit more,
I
but
think I,
I don't know.
I think Lampard said it after the game. It was a press con. Yeah, I think he said it after the game that I think I even shared the quote on my Twitter page. He said that we played a 4-3-3. We started with the 4-3-3, but I think he said that what people don't realize with the 4-3-3 is that the two number eights are not stagnant. They don't move in a line. One has to go forward and one has to come back. So usually that one that moves forward moves into the number 10 position, and then when he comes back, he goes back to the number 8 position. So it changes, and that's what he said at the end of the game. And I think that is what happened. But the thing was, we were seeing Havertz play more in that number 10 position, even though he started as a number 8, and he was playing more in number 10 position. So, and he was very comfortable there. He was very good there. So there wasn't any reason for him to be rotating or interchanging with Mount. So Mount usually stayed back and he moved forward. So I think that is exactly what they did on the pitch.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like it, some you see a lot. Some people on Twitter saying, "Oh, we want to see Mount in the pivots." And through this, I guess it's always been like that. But we just haven't seen it. But seeing Mount kind of drop back and seeing this Mount Gilmore pivot, it does look quite promising, but I guess it was Morecambe at the end of the day,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
there's only so much we can conclude from it. But looking at the other goal scorers, at least it's great to see Cho again, considering his continuing his good form, and I mean, it was nice. Yeah, really good assist from Ziyech. Do you think? I mean, Hudson-Odoi, at least for now, is he penciled in at left wing over Pulisic? To you?
I don't really think so, but I think he'll be featured more. But if Pulisic is fit, he might be rotated with Pulisic. But considering how well he played against Morecambe, I think he might start against Fulham. But he was very good. He was very, very good, to be honest. He was very good. I think we've been saying here that sometimes the issue with Callum is that when he starts, you don't really know what kind of Callum you get. Are you going to get the excellent Callum, or you're going to get the Callum that runs and runs uh, to the end of the almost getting closer to the goal line or the byline, and then he returns back to to the defense. So we didn't get that. We got excellent Callum, and he did very, very well. He was crossing. I mean, some of the passes that he was given, the back passes, the flicks, I was like, wow, this is a proper winger. We've always wanted a proper winger. He's a proper winger. So if I think he'll be irritated more with Pulisic. Pulisic definitely isn't out of the team. He's still returning to fitness. Even when he came in, you can see that he's still returning to fitness. He wasn't totally fit. The way Pulisic plays after he returned from injury, you can see that he's playing with some little care. He doesn't want to go into injury again. So he's very, very careful when he's playing, and I think that holds him back a bit. So if he built his confidence enough, we can see the full blown Pulisic that we saw last season after restart. So yeah, but Callum was fantastic, and the goal that he scored was very good. He took the ball down from an excellent Ziyech pass. I mean, the passes that Ziyech was given in the game, they were all fantastic. Like some of them didn't really work, but I mean, the passes he gave, that pass that he gave to Ziyech, I think he gave like 6 or 7 in the game. He gave passes like that, like six. Even the pass that he gave to Havertz before Werner's goal was also similar. It was very good. It was very like, I think when the way he gave the passes, it reminded a lot of us of Fabregas. The way Fabregas gave Costa passes, and yeah, he did. Callum did very, very well to take that ball down and then score the goal. It was the goalkeeper had a little hand to it, but it still went in. And with the way he was performing, he deserved at least maybe 2 goals. He did. He really did.
Yeah, he looked sharp for sure. Well, I mean, it is good to see him getting these goals, and with that, I do hope that his ability. I think it's been a thing. I don't know that other people haven't really said it much, but his ability to shoot into the corner. I don't know. He just seems like in previous seasons he's just kind of lacked. When he's shot, it's always been at the keepers. It was like straight to the keeper, or it's not challenged the keeper enough. So, and I guess with as he gets more goals, he's gonna definitely improve on that. And so it is good to see that he got the goal. And yeah, Ziyech. I wonder how many key passes Ziyech played today. It must be something ridiculous. There were yesterday, because he must have got quite a few. He was really running the show.
Yeah, he was. He was really running
I
the
can't
show.
find
He
it.
was.
Yeah,
He was really controlling them. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
sorry. Yeah, good to see as well that Havertz getting the goal. I was kind of praying, just saying, "Oh God, we need you to get a goal at some point, Havertz, to get your confidence up." And it was interesting. I mean, there's probably other than Giroud, that he's probably, would you say, he's pretty good in the air. I think I mean, he needs to. He's not particularly strong, but he uses his height well. Would you agree with that, or?
Yeah, yeah, he does. He does. I think before he came to Chelsea, he was one player that I really didn't follow much. When he was in Bayer Leverkusen, I think I only saw 1 or 2 highlights from him. But when he was about to sign to Chelsea, I watched a lot of highlights. I know a lot of Chelsea fans also did that. And he had a couple of goals that he scored with his head. He's very good in the air. He's tall, so he needs to use it. I think he's 6 foot. He's 6'4", so he has 6'4", 6'3", and he has to use it. He has to use the height that he has. So I think if he doesn't, if he's not good in the air, then I really don't know why he's tall like that. He has to be using it. And yesterday he tried a couple of times. I think that wasn't his first header attempt or headed attempt. He had, I think, two chances at goal, one with his head and one from a Werner pass. And yeah, he took it down well. I think he didn't land properly, but and I was a bit worried when he landed because you could see on his face that he was in some
Mm.
pain, but
He
he
looked a bit in pain.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he got up and he continued it. So I think it's good. It's good that like all these players like featured in the goals. Like I mean, they did very very well. I think I wrote a stat somewhere. The commentator said something. I wrote down somewhere. Let me see whether I can find it. Yeah, him and Werner combined have had 26 goal contributions this season, and it's very very good. Havertz and Werner, they've had 26 goal contributions this season in all competitions. So let's see let's see how it goes. And we are almost halfway through the season, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, uh, I'm interested to see how many of those were cup games against Morecambe and others, because I think yeah, the Havertz hat trick. Vernon probably I think got one against. Oh, I can't remember who we played now.
Tottenham, Spurs. He
No,
got
it was in the one where the Havertz hat trick.
Yeah, the Havertz hat trick. Werner didn't score. Werner scored his first goal
No,
against Spurs.
yeah. So yeah, I want to see more of that in the or get them racking up the goals and assists in the Premier League.
Yeah,
But it is a good sign though. I mean, it's crazy. I think I saw the stat that I think Giroud's got 8, Tammy's got 9, Werner's got 10, or it might be a slightly different order way around. But it's pretty good to see that normally whenever we've got three strikers, normally it's because one of them. Oh, don't make me mention Morata, but but yeah, it was just like we had Morata and Higuain and all these guys. None of them or only one of them was really performing, but whoever all three are is
I,
it's really good stuff.
I think the team it's somehow beginning to look like those early Lampard, Drogba, Balak, those kind of players, like where you could get goals from anywhere on the pitch. And I think that's how the team is now. Like the team, anybody can score goals. Like the first 11, anybody at all gets a chance can score. So I think I like how the team is now than having designated scorers. Like last season, Tammy Abraham had the lion's share of the goals. It's now spread because of how the team has been rotated, and anybody who comes in delivers. So I think it's a good sign.
Also, a nice change from t- how 2 or 3 years ago when essentially everything went through Eden Hazard and goal. Like if we were to score, it would we'd either need Hazard to score or Hazard to assist or Hazard to at least make something out of nothing. Whereas now we have threats. It's so good to have, say, Ziyech on the right, but then there's also the directness of Hudson-Odoi on the left, Mason Mount and Havertz as well, and Gilmore. It's just it's nice to have danger men around the pitch as opposed to just
Yeah, and even
everything.
and even in defense, like the four main defenders have all gotten on the score sheet this season. Zuma, Thiago Silva, Chilwell, and James. So even in defense, we are deadly.
Agreed. So let's go talk a bit about the defense then. So Kepa, it's it's an interesting one. Like Frank has, I don't know how much of what Frank is saying about him is just to boost his confidence, but Frank said good things about Kepa being playing or doing well in training, and he played well today. I thought. I mean, it's. I think we were talking about it before we started recording, but he made a ridiculous save in the first half to
Yeah,
kind of atone for moving a bit out of position. But it was a really good save, and he did. I mean, I think there was a tweet that said claiming that the Morecambe substitute bench were just shouting at their players to shoot when they got 40 whenever they got 40 yards, sorry, within 40 yards of the goal, because they thought, it's Kepa, we can easily score. But jokes on them because we kept a clean sheet. So, but yeah, it's. Would you say? I mean, I saw some reactions. I thought, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Do Given that Mendy's made mistakes in recent weeks, do we still kind of have to keep Kepa as this cup keeper understudy to Mendy, or do you think the status quo can change a little? Maybe.
I mean, I'll always maintain my stance on Kepa. Kepa isn't really a bad goalkeeper. We all know that he. I know some Chelsea fans will find it a bit difficult to understand this, but Kepa isn't a bad goalkeeper. He just had confidence issues, and when you have confidence issues, it affects your game. It affected Werner recently. It affected certain players recently in their career. So it definitely affects you. But it seems like his confidence is being built back, and I think we all alluded to the fact that if he has competition, this thing will come. Like this determination, this kind of form will come back. So I mean, it's still just against Morecambe, but he did well. And I remember that save that you're talking about. It was a fantastic save. Um, and yeah, he looked like his confidence was back. He was communicating with the defensive line more than at first. You could see him shouting. I was watching him a lot, especially in the second half. You could see him shouting at his defenders. You could see him like trying to uh, um, organize them when there's a free kick and all that. So he did very well, but I mean, it's still against Morecambe, and it's good to see his confidence getting better and better. So with many in the team, definitely with like competition, with good competition in the team, it will definitely boost his confidence.
But a lot of people say, "Oh, it's Morecambe, Kepa. We shouldn't really take much kind of we shouldn't consider it that much." But do you think that we should at least give Kepa the chance to prove himself against a Premier League opposition in Fulham, and say if he keeps the clean sheet, then who knows from there? But do you think we should give we do you think that he deserves the opportunity to play against Premier League opposition, at least against a weaker team in Fulham, maybe to kind of see whether he could be brought back as potentially number one? Even just I'm only thinking of it because Mendy's made a couple of mistakes in recent weeks, and I
Yeah,
don't know. It feels bad that we say, "Oh, it's Morecambe," but then what more can Kepa do at this point? I think, yeah.
yeah,
So, what are your thoughts?
I agree with you. I think you can only beat the team that is put in front of you. So I think whether it was Morecambe or not, his performance was good. Definitely. If we had lost to Morecambe, a lot of people would still criticize him. So once that we've won, he also deserves the praise. So yeah, I think he deserves it. He definitely deserves to play against like Premier League opposition or something. But he will get it. He will get it if only his performances continue like this. So if he's given certain chances like this, if he performs and impresses, definitely Lampard will put him in into the squad. So I really don't, because Mendy also needs to be rested when it comes to certain things. And I think right now with the league going back to one game a week, probably he might not get that many appearances. That's Kepa. Kepa might not get that many appearances in the Premier League. But if he continues to play like this, especially with the draw that we've got against Luton, he can really impress. And when he presses Lampard, you never know, he might start against um, teams like Fulham and Leeds, Fulham, Sheffield, and all that. So yeah,
I guess we'll get into our predicted lineups or hoped lineups in a bit, but I mean, I put a tweet out after the game, and some people I think disagreed with other people who were saying similar. But I really do hope that he does actually get the start against Fulham, just to just as a one-off thing. I mean, if he doesn't keep the clean sheet, makes a mistake or something like that, then he can remain as the Mendy understudy. But
Yeah,
I
but that
would
would,
like to see
yeah,
him.
yeah, but that would be
Sorry, go on.
no, no. I'm just saying that that would be risky. It would be a bit of a risk.
Yeah,
We've lost against Man City, and we have to come back in the Premier League. So it would be a very risky thing to. And if it doesn't work out, the Lampard out brigade will be out on Twitter.
yeah, that is true. I kind of forgot about this Morecambe game. Yeah, it's removed me from our barren Premier League run, and I'm so I guess but, I don't know because we have Fulham next week, then we play Leicester, and then we have Luton Town. So maybe if Kepa can keep a clean sheet and then score from a penalty or something like that, maybe then we can give him the chance against Wolves on the game after. But yeah, it's good. I mean, it is a risky move to be fair, but if he's going to get a chance against any team, it shouldn't be a easier or there shouldn't be a less challenging opposition than Fulham. So yeah, if he's going to get a chance, I'd like to see him. But I understand that it would be a risky move, but hey ho. But looking at, I mean, before we get into the look forward to this Fulham game, let's just talk about. I mean, were you surprised at least to see that Tomori he didn't start? That despite um, barely playing this season, that Zuma still played ahead of him and he didn't get the chance to at least play 90 minutes.
Yeah, I did. I was very, very surprised that he didn't start. But I mean, that it's further confirms that he might not be. Um, he might go on loan, and so. And I don't know when he came on to. I felt a little we were talking before the recording. Like I felt a little bad for him when he started because he seemed like you see, when you watch some of his interviews when he was playing regularly last season, you could tell in his eyes that he was very, very, very happy to be playing for Chelsea. He was very happy to be representing Chelsea. And I think that joy has left. When he came on, he didn't really show that kind of thing. Like he just came on to do his work and even I think he made a mistake but he covered his tracks, so I think that was all good. But yeah. Seeing him not start means that he's going alone definitely. Probably by the time the window closes, he might be gone. I'm just hoping that we send him on loan and we don't sell him because if we sell him, man, it might really come to bite us back. So we should loan him out, and then because I don't think Christensen will be at the team at the in the team for long, so he can always come in and fill that position, and then Thiago Silva too. I don't think he'll also be around for that long. Tomorrow is younger, so definitely there's room in the future for him as long as his issues with Lampard have been solved or something.
Yeah, I mean, you do see some rumours about. I mean, if we did get Declan Rice, whether he'd be used at centre back or defensive mid, but uh, I struggle to see a future for Tomori just because once Thiago Silva leaves, then I'd imagine that we would go out and buy someone of similar quality and that like a Jimenez or something, or maybe Declan Rice would replace him. But I think after having asked that question before on Tomori, I think there was a quote I think from Lampard mentioning that he didn't start because they're trying to line up a loan move. So maybe that was why, which is a shame. But as long as the loan is to Premier League, as long as it's to someone in the Premier League and he gets to start and their team name is not Sheffield United, then hopefully, then yeah, I'm hopeful for him to get some good experience at least and more game time. But I'm not sure what else. I mean, I guess it's it's tricky to know what he actually has to do because I mean, unless he's just not playing very well, then fair enough. But
Yeah,
there's definitely
I think it
something that
I think it's more than that. I think it's probably an attitude problem because I think I read somewhere on the Athletic or I think with their podcast, their what's the name, straight out of problem or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they said something about him having some attitude problems, or I don't think it's his performance. His performance, he had some few mistakes that kept him out for some time, but I think probably there was something behind the scenes that we didn't really see because, according to Lampard, he trains well and all that, but I'm sure probably he might have said something or he might have acted in a particular way that Lampard didn't really like. And from the Alonso thing, you can see that when you go into Lampard's bad books, it's very, very hard to come out of it. So I don't know. It might be. It's for me. It's more than just performance. I think it's something more than that.
yeah, that could be. I was seeing some people talk about how with Hudson-Odoi, perhaps there was some behind the scenes um, issues because according to Lampard now he's training really well, he's playing really well, and he's starting. So I don't know what's changed. Either he's decided Hudson-Odoi's decided that he's going to start training properly, or that there was some behind the scenes issues that were
I mean,
perhaps attitude problem or something.
yeah, they are young players earning so much money. Sometimes certain things might get to their head. Sometimes they might be egotistical. Sometimes, like with Hudson Odoi, Bayern Munich coming for him, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. So that maybe might get to his head a bit or something. But I think sometimes it depends on the people you have around you. The people you have around you can speak to you, sit you down and speak to you and be like, "You're a young guy, listen to the manager. If the manager wants this, you do that. If the manager doesn't want you do that." Because Lampard also had similar advisors around him. That's why he became the kind of player that he was. Because he knew he was good, but he wasn't really getting chances when he was at West Ham. But he still worked hard, and he when the chance came, he took it, and you see where he landed up. But I think it's something that happens a lot with the young players when they are earning a lot of money. It gets to their head and all that. So probably that's where the attitude issues come from. I'm not saying anything like definite that that's what happened, but I'm just speculating here that that might have been like the issue between them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just there's probably some kind of issue or Asian thing. But yeah, I mean, before one last thing before we get into the Fulham game is, I mean, I wanted to bring up some. Matthew, if you're listening, here's where you gotta prick your ears up. Uh, no, not for the TikToks, but essentially, yeah. This for our viewers. There's a American football legend. I think he's American. Man called Alexei Lalas. Some of you FIFA nerds will probably know him from being an icon on FIFA or something like that. But essentially, after the Man City game, he claimed that Christian Pulisic is too good for Chelsea. Oh man! Now, I don't know about you, but there's a level that has you have to be too good for Chelsea. And to be fair, the level that of players that Chelsea have nowadays, it's just BS. I can't get be around the bush here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it is.
it's the most rubbish thing. I'm sorry I even brought it up. If I'm honest, it's just the most.
I mean,
Yeah,
the thing about that quote is that I only saw the quote. I didn't see what else he said about after that. I wanted to even hear more to see what well the club that he thinks Pulisic should be at. But the thing is, I mean, this already is a very, very big deal for an American player. And you know how big of a deal it was for Pulisic to move from Dortmund to Chelsea at the amount that he was bought. It was a very, very big deal. And most American football fans were happy about it. And to be honest, he hasn't really flopped at Chelsea. He has delivered on every count, to be honest. Like, I mean, his first game that he started, he scored a hat trick. That should just tell you that the guy is a good player. But him being too good at Chelsea, man, I don't really think that's it's a valid point. I mean, what is he basing it on? Is it because we just had a bad run, or because Pulisic isn't getting game time, or what? Like Pulisic, to be honest, if it wasn't for his injuries, if it wasn't for his injuries, I don't think we'll be at where we are now. With Pulisic in the team, I don't think we'll be at where we are now on the table. The way he was performing after restart last season, if it wasn't for injuries and he was still performing like that for us, I think we would have lost the games that we lost, especially against Everton and the likes. I mean, we wouldn't have. We would be somewhere closer to the top by now, probably third or second. So him saying that Pulisic isn't, um, um, I mean, he's too good for Chelsea. I mean, what what the heck is he talking about? I don't really understand. To be honest,
This
to be honest, I didn't even know who he was. I didn't even know who he was to that
it's
quote.
I laugh because all I can imagine at this point is you just inserting a gif of what the hell are you talking about? Oh, there's some of the gifs that you gotta. If you haven't followed them already, then some of the gifs that he puts out are just so apt that they apply very much to the articles that he commented. So I'll have to see. But yeah, I think that just about wraps up all our thoughts on this on the game. Really, there was. I mean, thinking of who we've missed out, I'd say Gil and perhaps Gilmore. I mean, he looked so in control. It was against League Two opposition, but
But he did very,
it
very
was
well.
he was very very impressive.
Yeah.
Like
I think that the whole team. I don't really think anybody had a bad performance, and like the team that started. I think they all did very, very well. Probably like I'll say like I said earlier, Werner didn't really impress. Even though he scored the goal, he didn't really impress that much. But you could see that the goal built his confidence, and he was getting more and more into the game. So, and to see that Werner uh, wasn't the best player, it's even an understatement because I think everybody, it's not really fair because everybody did very, very well. Everybody on the pitch did very well. So I mean, it's not really, but I think the standout players, it will be between Havertz and Hudson. Ziyech was also fantastic, but standout players, I'll give it to Havertz and Odoi.
both Havertz and Hudson-Odoi were. It's just especially Hudson-Odoi. I think he got Chelsea man of the match yesterday. It was very deserved. I think we definitely missed it against for most of Man City, but his directness and his confidence to take anyone on and
Yeah.
the fear, you can definitely tell that defenders are scared of him and they kind of give him the space
Yeah, I think I
that
think I think one
yeah
thing I think one thing I didn't really like about Hudson in the past, he's a very, very good player, he's a good talent, but like I said earlier, he'll dribble and dribble and dribble to the corner line, and then and then take it the corner post and then take it back to the defenders. He wasn't really direct like how he's playing now, and I think he's maturing as he grows. He's maturing, so his game is getting better. And I don't even doubt that Bayern Munich will come for him again. I don't doubt that. They'll try again, but whether they'll get him is another issue.
he's only I mean what, it was only in the summer where he signed a 5 year contract. So if they can maybe slip in honestly, that's an interesting question. If Bayern Munich came and said, "Oh, we want Hudson-Odoi, and we'll give you any player that you want from our team," who would you and you had to accept it? What player would you choose?
I think that's a no-brainer. Like Alfonso Davis, I'm taking Alfonso Davis any day.
So you're
Any,
you're sacking off you're sacking off the 50 million we just
no,
spent
no,
on Chilwell.
you said you have to accept. So like, I mean, I mean, like
Right.
Chilwell is good. Chilwell is fantastic. I'm not going to rub that off, but Alfonso Davis is on different level, and the guy is just 19 years, man.
Yeah,
I, I mean, he's one player I envy a lot in that Bayern Munich team. So if I were to choose, no disrespect to Chilwell, but if I were to choose, he's the one I'm choosing because I feel like Lewandowski, he's very, very good. After Alfonso Davis, I might choose Lewandowski, but I think Lewandowski is also growing. He has given his best years to Bayern Munich, so we'll be getting the scraps. Even though he scores goals, we'll still be getting the scraps. So Alfonso Davis is younger, so he would be a better investment, in my opinion.
It's a fair answer, although I love Chili Bees too much
So
to be able to admit it. But
who,
Chili Bee.
who will you be picking? I'm giving the.
Oh man, jeez.
You see how they've got this.
If it was in the summer, I would have said Tiago and some more money. But yeah, there's no choice. We have to say Davies. Sorry, it's late for me. Yeah, there's no there's no one else. It has to be Alfonso Davies, and we just find another way to sell Chilwell or play two fullbacks, two play left backs. Sorry, or maybe we just play him at left wing as a yeah.
I mean,
But who knows?
he was a left winger before he became a left back, so probably
Yeah,
just work
but
on.
then he's the reason why he's been so is saying this, yeah, because just having that pace in defence. So yeah. Sorry, Joel, you're going.
We
Nah.
hope we hope you never listen to this episode.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, yeah. So we'll put a thumb that will. At least we have our YouTube title. Ben Chilwell, do not listen to this podcast at 48 minutes. Yeah, right, there's our title. But yeah, I think that wraps up for the Morecambe game. And
Yeah.
should we, right now, let's put our London Derby caps on. 1 second, let me fetch my. No, I don't have a London cap derby, but I need one. But yeah, so, well, looking at form, I thought, oh well, Fulham might have close form to us, but Fulham they've drawn the past four game in the Premier League, and they lost the fifth. They haven't won a Premier League game since I think they beat West Brom at the start of November 2-0, and we drew to West Brom 3-3. So this is we got to take these guys seriously now. uh, but yeah, it's we need this. We need. I can't really say any more than we have to win. There's no. It's like the meme of I think it's Mourinho when it's like I'm not putting any pressure on you to win, but
You
and
have
then it's like they put some silly quotes in, but we have to win. I'm not putting any pressure on us to win, but we have to win.
yeah,
So yeah, that's it. Pretty much, we got to like if we lose this, Arsenal could. No, Arsenal could not. It's not that bad yet. Arsenal can't overtake us yet. But if we lose this, we go level with we might go level with Arsenal. So yeah, it's we gotta kind of put our top four. Well, yeah, top four is going to get serious in the next 5-10 games. So yeah, we definitely need to win the game. But and other than that, it's a London derby. We can't lose to Fulham, can we, Amart? We can't. We can't even draw to Fulham. We got to win them, beat them, don't we?
yeah, definitely. We have to. We have to. They are 18th. I mean, they definitely will put up a fight. They definitely will come out to play. We are going. Are we going away or? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are playing away. So
Yes, it is away. Yes.
we're playing away. So our away form hasn't been the best so far. Our away form has been very very bad. I think the last few games we lost to Everton. Who else did we lose to? I think we lost to somebody else away, and then we lost.
Wolves. We lost to Wolves.
We lost to Wolves at home away, and we lost to Arsenal away as well. So our away form is very very bad. But I think with Fulham, we definitely have to, and those factors that were there, I mean, those factors as in we didn't have certain players available, certain players weren't on good form. I think those things have been cleared up a bit because Ziyech is back. He did well against Morecambe. Um, Havertz also had a good game against Morecambe. Werner has broken his goal drought, has ended his goal drought. So I don't know. I think I'm very confident. I think we can win. I hope Charity FC doesn't come back. Charity FC stays far away from us, and then we go there and take the 3 points because we really really need it. Because there are certain games that might go in favor of us this weekend. So we need to catch up. We need to catch up.
Agreed. But I think some interesting news has come out, but we'll talk about it after the Fulham game. But also after we go into our lineups. But I think let's go with other than the importance of the game. I think let's just go straight in with our lineups for goalkeeper. I'm going Kepa, but I think you said before that fair enough that you'd probably stick with Mendy.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
that's right.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'll prefer Mendy starting for him to do a mistake than Kepa starting for him to do a mistake. I don't know whether. Yeah, I'll prefer Mendy because I think everybody would prefer seeing Mendy in. But if Kepa starts and he messes up, the blame will be too much. Like the toxicity on Twitter will be way too much. So I think Mendy is the safest bet.
Yeah, I agree. But he's probably is the safer bet. So, but let's see what happens. But for the back four, I think Reece James is still out. I'm not sure. Have you heard anything about him coming back into training?
I think we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait. They've not really trained, or have they? After the Morecambe game, they haven't trained yet, and Lampard hasn't really had any press conference yet. So, but for now, I think it's out. I think Kante too. I don't know. I think Kante is also out.
Yeah. Kante is suspended, I think, for the
Yeah,
Fulham
that's
game
true.
anyway.
That's true.
So
He had a knock. It was reported that he had a knock in the last game, and then the suspension as well. So I think Gilmore is a very good replacement. I'm hoping Gilmore starts instead of Jorginho. I'm hoping Gilmore starts in that position instead of Jorginho. I think Gilmore would be a better option. Sometimes Jorginho, you don't really know if how should I say it, if the pressure is on us or the attack, is we are always on the back foot. He finds problems out there. He finds problems. But when we are the ones attacking, or probably we are one goal, two goals up, that's when he's very very good. But when we're on the back foot, he doesn't. He's not good under pressure. I think that's how I'll say it. He's not very good under pressure. So Gilmore is good, and I like how Gilmore is. I think Gilmore is that kind of traditional midfielder. He gets the ball. He already knows what he wants to do with the ball. He gets it, passes the ball, one touch passes, and it's done. He doesn't keep long on the ball. He doesn't do anything fancy with the ball. He just moves play forward, and that's good. So with him and Havertz in the team, alongside Mount, I think that would be good. I've already jumped. I've already
I
jumped the
agree.
right.
Yeah, the lineups don't conform to Amart's way of. Sorry, no, Amart does not conform to the way. No, which way is it at? Nah, Amart decides. We decide what CFC Talk decides what this lineup order is going to be. So, going back to the back four, we can skip Gilmore at least when it comes round to it. But rest of the back four, I think it's quite comforting to say that we pretty much know what it will be. There will be Aspi, Zuma, Thiago Silva,
Yeah,
and Chilwell.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah. Imagine, think back to last year and the year before, where every week it would be a new lineup or a new back four. Sorry, and we'd all be guessing and we wouldn't really know. But now it's like, yeah,
I think I think
we have
I think with
it's all set.
Sari it was mostly the same back four, but with Lampard last season it was an experiment every time. So with this time we have our back four, and we know the players that are going to play no matter what, unless they are injured, and then we even when they are injured we know who is coming to replace them. But yeah, definitely going to go with that back four.
Yeah, I mean in the midfield, I are you saying are you thinking we go with the same midfield that we'll play against Morecambe since we have essentially a week break? So or yeah, because the Fulham games got moved back by a day. So I mean, my midfield three is going to be would be Havertz, Gilmore, Mount. But are you thinking the same or slightly
Yeah, the same
different?
thing. I'm just a bit worried that Lampard might go with Jorginho instead of Gilmore, but for me, I think I'll prefer Gilmore there.
Yeah, I would too. It's just Jorginho is one of my favorite players, but it's not necessarily from a playing point, but from his mentality and how he always inspires the rest of the guys. I think, but I do think it's clear that Gilmore has what he has, and more aggression and more kind of directness in his pass, and probably of the quickness. I don't know. You just don't really see Gilmore getting completely. Well, so, to be fair, in the Morecambe game, there was one or two times where a Morecambe attacker would just skip past Gilmore, but his Gilmore's aggression and his directness of pass, or his kind of forward thinking, like you said, is too good to pass down on. I do hope he gets a start in the Premier League. But then going on to the forwards,
Yeah, it's
it's
tough.
tough, and yeah, but I mean, yeah, I would play Timo. I'd go Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi. But I'd understand if you wanted to change at least Werner for Abraham. But what's your thinking?
I mean, I want to see Werner. I don't know because he has scored his goal. It would be very harsh to bench him because I think the goal that he scored gave him a little bit of confidence. So why don't you ride on it and see where it goes? But I don't want to see him benched. So I'll pick him up top. And then yeah, this is where the issue is whether we'll go with hudson-odoi or Pulisic. I mean, considering how well Odoi was, I'll pick him over Pulisic. And Pulisic also had, like, he got the advantage also last season. Whenever he played well, he started, and I think that's how it's supposed to be. I think some this season Lampard has favored some. Should I say some? I think Werner especially, he has favored him a lot. Yes, he sometimes has too much confidence in him to perform in certain games, but certain games too, the guy is tired, he's lacking confidence, so you shouldn't be starting him in certain games. But for this one, I think he'll benefit from starting. And like I said, there's no better team than Fulham for him to really get his goals back up. No disrespect to Fulham, but I think with this game, if Havertz is in, Ziyech is in, Hudson on the left, and then with him in the middle, I think they will do well. So yeah, so I'm going to go with Ziyech, Werner, and um, Hudson.
It's fair enough. Yeah, I'd agree. It's These guys are probably the most informed. Although, in fairness to Tammy Abraham, he did do well to create the crossing attempt for Aspi to put the ball
Yeah,
in for Havertz. So I'd understand if Lampard did want to start with Tammy, but I think, yeah, we do need to start Werner to get his confidence up. But yeah, I think that's kind of sums it up again for our podcast. There is one extra thing I wanted to talk about, which was the fifth round. Have you seen the fifth round draw results? So there was the fourth round, so where we know we're going to be playing against Luton, but they've also decided who we might, if we do beat Luton, play in the next round. And have you
no, I
seen
haven't
that?
seen that. I only saw the draw. I didn't see
Yeah.
who will play after that.
So luckily so if we do beat
Okay.
Luton, we will either come up against Barnsley or Norwich.
Oh,
So that's pretty
that's
good
good.
for us.
That's
So
good.
yeah, yeah. So that is good. Looking at the other draws, so obviously there's the big one of United Liverpool, and they will probably play West Ham or Doncaster. So that's good. That means that that's knocking out a couple of uh, out a couple of West Premier League teams. It's interesting that Sheffield United have so the winner of Sheffield United Plymouth, and Plymouth are like League One, play against the winner of Millwall versus Bristol. So essentially, in the FA Cup quarterfinals, there's going to be at least a couple of easy
Yeah,
teams
yeah,
available. So yeah, then Fulham, Burnley play against. So there's quite a few ties which will end up knocking out Premier League opposition. So I do think we will have at least, and it's good to see that only one of Liverpool or Man
yeah.
United will be
I
up
mean,
there.
they'll play them twice in the month. They'll play each other
Yeah,
twice in the month.
I remember there was a time where didn't we play Arsenal? I think we played Arsenal in the league, and then we played Arsenal in the cup like 3 days
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
I think I was 17, 18. I think it was Conte. I can't remember. it might have been like it might have been Sari under Snorri, but yeah,
I mean, it's a
yeah,
good
can't
draw.
remember.
I mean, this we should we
Yeah, it
should
is.
we should be beating Luton, but I don't. You might never know. We should be beating them, but we
Yeah,
don't know what kind of team that they will put out, and they might be
yeah,
out for blood, and then we might be relaxed. But I think with the approach Lampard is going with, is taking with the FA Cup, you can clearly see he wants to win it because you see my.
yeah.
Did you see my lineup predictions for the match? I put a lot of youth players in there, but Lampard was like, "No, I'm taking this seriously. I want to win it." Because I was expecting Anjorin to start, I was expecting Bates to start, I was expecting certain players to start. I was even expecting Lawrence to be in defense, but it didn't happen that way. So and I yeah, like I said, I think he's taking it very very serious. If you look across the other teams, I think apart from I think United and Liverpool, they put their best squad in because they were facing tough opposition. But then apart from them, other teams kind of put in a lot of youth players. And yeah, I think Lampard wants to win this.
Yeah, it's fair. I think he does, especially after last year with missing out on the final. Missing out in the final. It's yeah, really hope it. I do think he definitely wants to go for it and really win a trophy as Chelsea
Yeah, I
manager.
think if he had
One last,
won last season, it would. I think he would have more fans on his side now, especially when we were going through those the rough patches. He would have more fans on his side, like how Ateta is having, because Ateta's defenders are just saying that he won the FA Cup, he won the FA Cup. So like he could also have that like as a title winning manager. So
one interesting other thing before we go is that I think I saw there's a Fabrizio Romano tweet in the past hour saying that there's a new potential transfer for Ko Tomori. Apparently AC Milan have contacted Chelsea about Tomori, but the main target for them is still Mohamed Simakan, who plays for
yeah,
Strasbourg. But if that target for them collapses or doesn't work out for them, then AC Milan will go for
I think
Tomori,
that would be good. That would
which
be very good because
yeah,
I think most defenders benefit the most when they play in Italy because of how difficult their league is and how should I even put it? How physical their league is. I think compared
yeah.
to the Premier League, their league might be a little bit more physical than ours. So most defenders, I think the best defenders come from Italy because of how physical that league is. So if he can do well there, if he can go there and do well there, I think he can do well anywhere. So it will be good for him to go to AC Milan.
Plus, kind of use it as some street cred for making a cheeky Donnarumma inquiry. No. The Donnarumma rumors really confuse me. It's like, are we going to discard Mendy that
Yeah, I
fast?
don't know. I don't know where I sit on that whole transfer thing. I don't know. And coupled with the fact that his agent is Raiola, I
Yeah,
don't know.
we, yeah. Not sure if we have any players with who have Raiola as a agent.
Yeah, because of the demands, like the agent fees and all those demands, and I don't know. It's not really. There was a time that Donnarumma nearly left AC Milan because he was demanding a lot of money. It wasn't him. It was his money. His agent. His agent was the one that was pushing him to do that. So I don't want him to bring that same. I think he has changed a bit as he grows. He's changing because when he did that, he was younger. So I don't know. But Viola, working with Viola isn't really a good thing because right now, you see the rumors that he's throwing about Pogba, saying that Pogba wants to leave, Pogba is leaving, and all that. It's creating more confusion in the Manchester United club. So I don't.
It's a weird one. Also, it's a shame that Haaland, I think, also has Raiola as the agent. So,
Yeah,
but Haaland's more of a pipe dream. I think it's crazy to think where he would even fit in when we already have three strikers. But that's a conversation for another pod, I think. But yeah, anything else to add? I think before we kind of
yeah.
conclude.
I think I'll. it's unfortunate that we didn't have time to talk about. But I think um, I want to how to say talk about the women's team. They played against Reading this weekend, and they did. Was it with this weekend? I think it was yesterday. Yeah, they played yesterday, and Kirby scored 4 goals, and G came on to score the last goal. So I mean, she did very, very well. I watched a little bit of that game, and then I watched the highlights as well. I mean, Kirby is my favorite player when it comes to the women's team. She was the reason why I started following all those years ago. So she did very well, and considering how difficult things have been for her because she battled an illness. I've forgotten what illness it was, but she battled an illness, and it was very difficult for her. Not coming on, not being able to play with the team, and she didn't really know what her future would be. She recovered and she has come back to the team. And from the first game that she played when she came back, she has been excellent throughout. Like she has been even better than when the the way she was before she went. And I mean, I just want to give her props for that because the four goals were all fantastic goals.
It's interesting. It's in the same kit where the red and blue that Giroud had wore for the 4 goals. So maybe this kit just gives our players special powers to score
Sometimes
4 goals in a game.
I don't really want to praise that just that kit, but like and it goes very very well when the women play wear it. Like I was telling somebody before the season started that if I see this kit on the ladies team and it works, that means the team the kit is good. But if it doesn't work, then the kit is there's no hope for the kit. But it works well when they wear it, and I think when Chelsea also wins in them, it makes it like it makes it better to look at when you win. So and like you said, Giroud scored 4 goals in it, and then she has scored 4 goals in it. So I think we should wear that against Fulham.
Yeah, we should. And then maybe Timo would get 4 goals. But yeah, just but adding on to that, like I don't. Well, I admit that I need to watch more of the women's team, but whenever I do, it just Frank Kirby really does strike me as pretty much Eden Hazard reincarnated
Yeah,
as a thing, as a woman. So it yeah, she really is inspiration. She's definitely one of the reasons why I like the ones why I when I do watch the women's team that it's so enjoyable. She just makes the game so fun to watch. And yeah, if I were to liken her to any player, it's definitely Hazard for sure.
yeah. I think when she started really coming to form, I think in 20. I might be wrong on this, but I think in 2015, 2015, 2016 there. But I think even Raiden is a former team, and she scored 4 goals against them. And I don't know. I think a lot of people were comparing her to Hazard because of the way she was playing, the way she was very, very influential. There were some games back then that you can see that we've been completely outplayed, but she somehow comes out with some little moments of brilliance, and then we get goals or she gets assists, and she's bringing that back. She's bringing those kind of performances back, and I think with the difference is that this time she's involved in more of the goals, as in she is scoring than assisted. Even in the past, she was still scoring, but it wasn't like this. And I'm glad that it's like she has regained this form.
Yeah, it's really nice. Her story is quite inspirational about how she's battled for with illness for so long, but has kind of come up on top but yeah, she really is an inspiration. I think.
Yeah, the way she's going, she can even win the. If she continues like this, she can even win the Women's Player of the Season.
Yeah. Right. I think that's a kind of it's a good note to end on. And yeah, I'd like to, if you are listening at this point, I really appreciate you listening to what all the way to the end. It's when there's only two of us. Sometimes it's hard to. It feels like it's quite hard to make these last long. But I mean, we're at the hour and 11 mark, and we're still going strong. So I mean, very impressed. But I shouldn't be surprised at this point. I think after it's almost like an effort to keep these to less than an hour because there's just so much to talk about. But yeah, once again, Amart, thanks very much for really appreciate you coming on. Yeah, as my usual co-host. And also, yeah, thanks to the listener, and we'll see you in the next one, hopefully with Mohammed back, where we'll be reviewing the Fulham game and looking forward to our game against to our game against Leicester in midweek on the 19th. But until then, have a good one, and we'll see you in the next podcast.